the structures nearby, find that loot that was left behind inside the storm line, and yoink it, pull it right back into the safety of the zone. And that is what Miro's doing here. This is why he's looking back to the zone there, literally trying to filter out and find any kind of loot possible here. And there it is. He's going to pull in a fresh pump and any other loot that he can get from inside the storm line. So it's going to work out. And they actually pull half in, half out. Okay, we might just be watching that comeback game that they need. The game that can wash away all these. Again, the bad vibes that they had in the tough vibes, and that probably just been setting the game here. This could be the game that now all of a sudden is going to be back in the game. It's somewhere they need to be some back in the track. They got to get the back in the track to take off. When everything is on the line, DJ and Angie and Skittles in first place. Skittles proving that he has got it as well. That wasn't the flashy edit and pump. That wasn't the high ground take. That was just pure nerves of steel. The edit down, the build away, did not panic, and they are now alive to play another day. And that's exactly what they're doing. Not only are they playing, they are going for it. They are pushing up, and they're maybe dropping back down, but high contested. DJ and Angie and Skittles have noticed this. High ground is being fought right now. They can go up, but unfortunately, DJ falls. Angie has gone down. It's Commandment and Censored. All of our top 4 teams right now, I think, are at least missing one member. No one is a full trio pushing forward. Who can get something out of this game? 10, 20, 30 points would be massive for any of these teams right now to overcome each other. It's literally a battle of duos. This is Trio FNCS, but all your top teams are down to duos. And I love what Skittles is doing here. He's going to go ahead and layer change up as well. Aegis is now down. It's up to Skittles to clutch up by himself. Reverse 2K might be joining him soon. And oh no, Reverse goes down to the zone there. It is up to Miro once again to solo clutch this. So far, Scented and Commandment are looking like they have the best odds. They have someone here on the edge of the storm. That's the refresher they need. And the follow-up from Scented, it's going to be good. There goes the full finish. It's on to Sizz Lucky. Scented is still in this game. No more Commandment here. He's got to be quicker, though. The zone's doing its damage. Can he get there safely? Can he find it? And he does. But no, the Stinker is greeted, and he gets taken out. And now we're looking at a 2-on-3 for the final game. But this is right now 5th place onto Kazu Fishy right now. So at the same time, Threats needed this massively. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. No, he's pinned up against the stealthy stronghold. He can't walk away with it. But right there, we saw 4th place as a duo. We saw 1st place as a duo. We saw 2nd place as a duo. But we also saw 5th place as a full trio. How many points did Jamper, Threats, and Rise get? Again, massive props to Who Fishy, Kaz, and Aspect. I've hyped up their team a bunch. We've got the Comp Veterans showing up big with the Victory Royale. But they're a bit down there, but we had a lot of our teams in the top 5. The only one I didn't see, Monster, Saf, Stretch, and Avery. Don't know where they were there. Yeah, definitely. It's going to come down to where they were. And I said the final game. I just meant not even the final zone just yet. That ended on zone number 7, the earliest game I think we've seen. And who knows how many FNCSs. We'll have to hit the analytics for that one. But Zeke, tell me what you got for that one, because now, again, new teams coming up, but Sense and Edgy, they clap back with Commandment.
Well, that trio you're asking about, were they 27. 27. That's why you did not see them. I know, it's actually insane. That's kind of how I feel as well, MDF and Ozzy. It's how I feel as well. Guys, look, I want to give, first off, a congratulations, Aspect, Kaz, Hufishy. Victory Royale absolutely cannot be denied. It's absolutely incredible. However, it doesn't paint the full picture because, kind of like what they were alluding to, these top 5 trios making it once again in your top 5, that does not spell good things for the leaderboard.
Yeah, even though they got first place there, Scented Edge and Commandment, Scented at the end there, clutching up, I believe it was a 3rd or 4th place, so he still managed to get those top 5 placements, even in rough situations where both of his teammates went down, and then Reverse Day and Miro trying so hard. Again, Day goes down early, so it's just Miro and Reverse trying to clutch up some points. And these trios gotta stay trios in these end games because these clutch situations are not in favor. You know what I mean? Like, you're just at a disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, disadvantages. I mean, one of the worst zone pools ever. Over water, always going to be tricky for every single trio out there. It's just a build fest, really. But you know, we talk about Hufishy's trio, who won that there as well. They've been kind of lulling around the kind of 20th spot for the last kind of 6 games or so. So it's great to see they got the victory out. Hopefully, bumps up a little bit as well. But yeah, I think the top trio. It was sad to see that none of them really delivered in that particular game. But we do have a few more to go. But before we get into the nitty gritty of the next few games, which is going to be the be all and end all of the FNCS finals, can I just take a minute to celebrate what an unbelievable season it's been for the game as well? Like, I want to say I've enjoyed so much about this. Check out the Spire, for instance, first and foremost. Like, the map changes every season, we're all getting really excited about. We have weaponry changes, there's map changes too, of course, and the Spire and different ways of getting yourself around the map. But I've loved some of the kind of the new designs. We'll talk about all the kind of like the new fish and the new meat and the new ways you can shield up. There's tons of different ways now that the pros have kind of adapted to the new meta of the game. And I think for all players, and speaking as a player myself as well, I've been really enjoyed the new changes. I think for me the opportunity as well to craft new items, but we can see dinosaurs in the game this year as well, which is absolutely incredible. Like, it's what I've always wanted. I think I didn't know I wanted it, but I always wanted it. But for me, yeah, the bows, we saw this, the sniper rifles were vaulted, but we brought in bows this season. The stink bows, I mean, absolutely genius. I've loved seeing these things come into play, and I think the bows this season have been utilized brilliantly by professionals as well.
Yeah, Adam's always loved seeing those random go-ahead bow shots that just absolutely take somebody out within an instant. Like, he's always talking about them, but I love the variability to the bows, right? There's so many different bows. You have the stink bow, the flame bow, just the regular bow to go ahead and take somebody out. But another thing that has added some consistency to the game is the mechanical parts and the bones, right? You can find these makeshift weapons and turn them into essentially like whatever you want. As you can see, Macwood here using those parts to get himself a purple pump. So depending on where you land, you can always have that consistent loot so you know what you're fighting for.
Wow, the standings, the leaderboard has changed again. Commandments trio back on top there. They're going to be very happy. 284 points, only 2 points separates first and second place, with D-Gens going down to second place. I mean, we saw how close it was last season in NAE. It's going to be just as tight, I think, this season as well. You can see eliminations are basically, pound for pound, 48 eliminations, the top spot there, 52 for D-Gen and co, and 49 for Miro's trio, who get back into the top 3 after Saf and co did not have a good game, coming 27th, as Zeke said there as well. So you can see things are changing around a little bit here as well. Hufishy and co, I don't want to keep using and co as a trio, but it's fine. They go back into 9th position there after being in 20th or so for so long. So it's great to see those boys in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, huge jump in the positions there for them. Sap, Stretch, and Avery obviously having that 0-point game there bumps them from 3rd all the way down to 5th. So that momentum right there has kind of shifted, and they've created a large gap between themselves and that 1st and 2nd place shot. But what's awesome is DJ and Ages and Skittles had a 2-point lead over Scented Trio before that last game, and now Scented, Edge, and Commandment have a 2-point lead over them. So those guys are quite literally just flip-flopping, and dare I say that they are going to take this all the way down to the wire. Like, they are going to be neck and neck all the way down through Game 6.
Yeah, we can see here as well, like, looking at the 11th to 20th position, you can see that Macwood's trio only have 98 placement points, but 34 eliminations, and they got the same amount of points as 12th through 14th place as well. So you can see just how integral those standing points are proving to be when it comes around to finishing in a particular capacity in each of our games and getting as close to end game as possible and victory royaling possible as well. But I think it's time, as we always do here in FNCS, to take a little bit of a look at, I guess, a spotlight of a certain player that we know is brilliant and is always delivering the goods. Aegis obviously is part of the DGen and Skittles trio. Solo points, these are points where he is the last man standing of his trio. He's got 18 all by himself going solo into the battlefield there, which is amazing, and 22 eliminations as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, 22 eliminations. That's actually the most of any individual so far throughout this FNCS, so props to him. And even more so impressive, 18 of those 22 elims are unassisted. So he is putting in absolute work as an individual. And then, to boot, elims versus top 10, 9 of them. It's not even like he's just finding people that are having a bad day. Like, no, he is going toe-to-toe against the best players, those that are even in the top 10. He's doing a great job of finding elims for his team.
It's been so good, and that's the first 3 games of NA East down. Now, guys, I actually want to talk about these teams at the top. Senti's team versus Ager's team, all right? In just that last game, for Sentin and his trio, they placed 3rd with 4 eliminations. For DGen, they placed 4th with 3. So literally, just think about this. Like, they're basically flip-flopping, like you said, Vivid. Literally every single set of games. I want to see this come down to this last game. I want to see these guys. You know what I'd love to see? Is literally, like, these guys pull far away. And, like, in Game 6, it's just, like, a 3v3. These 2 teams at the end, and whichever one walks away with the Axe of Champions. That's my dream. Okay, look, I know I'm Zeke, so like I'm just like I just have the most imaginative mind ever, but it's fine. Anyway, Fortnite fam, we hope you guys are enjoying all of the action. We have 3 games left here in NA East before we can crown the Trios champions here. But for now, it is time to step away. That's right, we have to go to a break. But don't worry, you're not going to miss any of the action. We're going to start Game 4 on the break. So what you'll be watching on screen will actually be the very beginning of Game 4. And when that timer hits 0, MDF, Aussie, they'll be right there. They'll pick up the action, and we'll just keep on rolling with the rest of the competition. So really quickly, get up, go get hydrated. Come right back, though, because you don't want to miss any of the action here from the FNCS. We'll see you guys in just a little bit.
we're back here just in time to catch Reverse 2K, Miro, and Day getting into a fight here up against Adonis and company. And I love this change of strategy, this rotate here to try and find teams that are, again, targets, right, for them, because that is what worked really well for them day one. They just had so many opportunities to pick up tons and tons of elims, and now we're watching a different strategy, a Southern rotate nice and early for Reverse 2K and company.
Yeah, I talked about it. They did change their strategy. I don't think it was their mindset that they weren't wanting to take fights. I genuinely think they couldn't find them. Everyone has been running for them, but they know Retail Row has 2 teams added, and this isn't one of the teams that is here, but they've now found Adonis' team in the mix, and I think Damir and Reverse have them beat at this point unless someone makes a big exchange and this swings back. Damir and Reverse definitely have the advantage in this fight, and this could be the comeback we were looking for. All this is going to take now is for them to get these eliminations, have their Storm Surge, but wait, as I say that, Day gets hit pretty heavy, so I need to put a bit of respect on Adonis' name here. They might be able to pull this off despite having the loot disadvantage right now.
Yeah, Day gets tagged again as well, but he does get the drop there, so at least he gets his knock in the process. And now they're just trying to find these last player. Where did this last player rotate through? Where are the other 2 here? Little does he know he was behind the rock there. An infantry rifle. 2 body tags is all it takes. And it looks like that was enough to go ahead and rip apart Reverse's shield here. Once again, Adonis just not making it easy, not trying to flop his way out of this game here. But Day, 200 HP, he's back in this. He should be able to wrap things up. So now we're going to hop over to Avery, Sap, and Stretch here. Posed up. We're sitting up. Posted next to Posed and Sparebow. Felix down low getting his loot here. This is a team that does like to play very strategically. So between the 2, smart play here. Not looking to fully engage. But again, we still have a full competition in front of us here, Ozzy. I mean, Sap, Stretch, and Avery have slipped down a fair margin though, right? With only 3 games in front of us, there's still a lot to be put up on the line right now.
Yeah, and I just can't believe 1st and 2nd place has jostled the last 2 games by a single elimination. We saw DJ and Age's Skittles in the lead by 1 elimination. Now it's flopped back to Commandment Center and Angie ahead by 1 elimination, 2 points. This is going to be a ridiculously intense final 3 games because, again, these are 2 teams that have been consistent. They're not 2 teams that have had the story of getting, 20 elimination victory hours like we potentially saw over on EU with Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason. They've been playing consistent. Center, Edge, and Commandment have been playing consistent for multiple seasons. DJ and Aegis Skittles have been playing consistent for multiple seasons. I don't think either of them is going to fall off the pace in a big way. It's not going to be about who loses this. It's going to be about who wins it. Who has their big game to jump up, because the other team is not slipping up. Even when they slip up, they still pull off 15, 20-point games, which is still really, really good. And that is why both of them are almost 40 points clear of 3rd. It is a 2-horse race right now, unless Damir and Reverse can do what they did at the start of yesterday and just drop big eliminations.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to come down to those big eliminations here, and they're still in this competition. For Rokane, Mega, and Dubs, though, they're very much in this competition as well. Let's not count them out. They did fall out a bit short in the last game there, but 8 eliminations is enough to go ahead and hold them on up, keep them inside the running here, as Rokane has tied for the most single game elims this NA East Finals. Last game with 8 eliminations, just showing that he is still here to pop off. You have to put some respect on players like Rokane. I know we highlight Mega and Dubs all the time because of, again, how much history they have inside the competitive scene, but they have equal as much firepower in Rokane in this trio. But hold up, Ozzy. I saw D-Gen go down in the feed there too. So big storyline developments could be unfolding right before our eyes.
That is very, very big. I just hyped them up, and I mean, I think we've been pretty good this weekend, Monster. I don't think we pulled out too many caster curses. I'm pretty notably bad for it. I seem to do it a lot, but that could have been potentially the first one, but they haven't been fully finished. Just the knock at this point. We've seen some pretty good reboots come out. We've seen people get their way back into the game when they are down, like we've seen Reverse 2K Day and Miro last game. You can come back from it, but Dubs, Mega, and Rokane, this is a team that we haven't been discussing too much, and there was a lot of speculation, there was a lot of talk around Dubs and Mega. They haven't been playing poorly in recent seasons, just not as good as what they used to. And that's what's tough for some of these teams that have achieved what Dubs and Mega have achieved. They went into World Cup duos as one of the favorites. They've had some huge performances and they stuck it out. A lot of teams and a lot of players, I feel like, would have split up with the performances they started to have. Again, they weren't bad by any means, but they weren't Dubs and Mega. But they stuck it out. They found Rokane, and now they're in 6th place, and they're not far behind 5th. Only a few eliminations, so they can jump up and have a really big game. They're behind 5th. 5th has 2 victory hours in Saf's team. They don't have a victory hour yet. They've got a 3rd, a 2nd, a 4th. They need a 1 big game, and I really think they can get a podium finish here.
Yeah, that's what it's all about right there. Getting that big finish there, putting yourself up amongst the best of the best. And again, we give a lot of respect to any team that can rock that top 3. Remember, that's your ticket punch to the next FNCS. So for some, there is still so much here on the line. Even if you cannot get that first place slot, right? You want to walk your way all the way through to another finals. We saw what the teams that did get that last final slot granted to them do with it. They have all managed to show up so far.
They have all managed to show up, and NA East is so consistent. EU, again, we have our big names up there. We had Tayson at the end there. You know, we had Janice Chapix and Hen yesterday, and, you know, we've had Savage up there with his new team, but EU jostles up a lot more at the top than what NA East does. It really is the top teams playing super consistently, and you need to break into, you need to make a name for yourself, because we're coming into a new season. We're coming into a season where I imagine we're going to see some drop spot changes, and you need to build that reputation to hold down some of them, because a lot of these drops the teams have been going, like Jack Slacks and Acorn, Censored Edge of Commandment, DJ and Ages Skittles, they've had the same drop spot now for multiple seasons. That is a very underrated statement about these guys. They've got it on lockdown. No one wants to contest it because it's their drops, because they're too scared of them. But if the map changed a little bit coming into the next FNCS, you're looking back at those leaderboards. You don't say, oh, who came first 3 FNCSs ago? You say, who came first last FNCS?
Yes, definitely. And now Skittles, Ages, and Degen, though, 63 damage above the surge here. So it seems like Degen was managed to get picked up here. They did manage to get that save, but it's going to come down to now them finding tags. We already know that just 100 damage above, that's not enough. Just for Chimp, Tabney, and Teo, just a little bit ago on social media, they took to social media to talk about them being 500 damage above in the first zone and still fall to surge just in the next zone after that. So you have to stay consistent. You have to find your tags. 100 above with 12 players needing to go down is nowhere near safe for Censored Commandment and Angie, though. They're now setting themselves up for success, and it makes sense, right? It's pulling out of their drop spot. It's allowing them to rotate into teams and take advantage of it. Stinkers, even better now to open this one up here for them, and they have some extras to play with here.
We get our quick stat blind. Sense and Edgy are the only players with top 3 FNCS finishes in multiple regions, obviously coming off NA West, proving a lot of people have that question. You hear a lot of people talk about other regions going head to head. It's been a while since our World Cup, so a lot of people always ask those questions. How good are the other regions? Sense and Edgy proved it. They came over for NA West. They had massive success on NA East, proving that they can do it.
I was gonna say, but wait, we got Muzz, Looter, and Speedy coming soon, though. So, you know, give us some time, Ozzy. Give us some time.
Yeah. We do. We have OCE making a bit of an insurgence to NA East. That'll be an interesting one as well to see. They just came off the back of their FNCS win last night, winning back-to-back FNCSs in OCE. So it's always an interesting discussion. I'm excited to see it. I mean, I know I'm a bit biased. Last time the OCE boys showed up to NA East, they won a week and they came top 10 in the finals. Just saying. But back onto NA East right now. Degen, Ages, and Skittles looking really not too hot for this. Degen has got that pepper popped. He is trying to get to that zone as quick as possible. Does he get in? No, they both go down. No. Degen and Skittles are out. Ages is a solo, 23 health, 100 shield, 7 builds. I have to think this is it. Disaster is struck and Ages is going down swinging, but regardless, he is going down. This is monumental for this NA East finish. Second place is out, only 2 points behind first. First can now try to run away with this. Remember, Damir Reverse, they're in third right now by almost 40 points. They can catch up, but it is all eyes on Commandment, Centered, and Edgy. They've got second place, back-to-back FNCSs. They're sick of being runner-ups. They want to stand up first on that podium and get the champion axe, and this is their chance to do it. As now you see, also 5th place as a duo. This is their game.
Yeah, for sure. With Avery being down here too, this is just dismantling, picking apart the trios that we are trying to hope to see jump on up and make this a close tournament. But you know what? For a team like Commandment, Sense, and Edgy, you know they have to be feeling so good right now. But this will also equally raise the pressure for them, right? When they know, okay, we're the only team up right now. Our competition is basically not here. The team that was so close to us, how far can they run away with this absolute golden opportunity they have been granted? We already know they have the surge tags, but we also know they're very much in a highly contested area just outside of Retail Road. The zone is ever so slightly shifting back to this western portion, so they're gonna have to continue to move. And here's the teams they have to move through. It's Zerx and company, it's Zeus and crew just nearby inside that box, but you know what? They have a lot of space to work with here.
I want to talk about this loadout. what this loadout means. This is supreme confidence from Centered right now. Infantry rifle pump. That is an absolutely deadly loadout, but an absolutely unforgiving one. If you miss your shots, you are going down. You have no semi-automatic weapon to pull out and hit the high fire rate. You just have a pump and an infantry. But if anyone can pull it off, it is Centered. Talked about it yesterday. My man puts in the hours. He has over 1,000 hours in the aim trainers, because that's what it's about. It's putting in the hours. It's training. This is like any other sport. You can't just play the game and call yourself a pro. You've got to do what some would consider the boring stuff as well, and it's all going to come down to this. They need to push through TSM Commandment, NRG Edgy, and FaZe Centered. I feel like we haven't talked about how just stacked that is as well. 3 of the biggest orgs in the world all represented on one team. Only in Fortnite could you see that happen, and they're set up in a great spot right now. Edge of 4, they're not going for the big high ground. They have the potential to pull the half, the 5th zone, and they have 8 peppers, Monster. 8 peppers. We've seen what they can usually do with 2 or 3 on a single rotate. If they can keep these going all end game, this is looking like a big win condition for them.
Yeah, for sure. And this is all going to come down to here. What can they do with this big game here? I'm hoping that they do end up popping off here, but so do Miro, Reverse UK, and Day, of course, too. We want to see them pop off as well. They have the HP to do it, and this is probably the healthiest we have seen them coming into a game. So far today, those first 3 games were just brutal. Round after round, it almost just always somehow ended up like Miro by himself, or the team just broken apart, really trying to figure things out with their loot. But this time, 3 Elims to rotate into retail early, pick them up a full team wipe.
Run right now. You need to see Day, Miro, and Reverse have a big game. The pressure's on them. They can't just win this game. If they win it, they need eliminations to boot right now, because Commandment, Sense, and Edgy are holding on to their lead, and it's Day's team that's playing catch up. Last time we saw them when they won their FNCS, Monster touched on it beautifully earlier today, they were in the lead coming into day 2, and they slipped off a little bit, but they just held on. Now they're trying to catch up as Stretch goes down as well. So that means 5th place is down to a solo. All eyes now on Day's team to try to catch this up, because even if they can't get the win, this is their chance to secure a top 3 or even a top 2 and try to chase down the leaders. But they're only 72 above, and where does zone show? Do they get the zone? Does it pull towards this? It does! It pulls towards the southeast section. Commandment, Sense, and Edgy get to just stroll into the next zone, sit up pretty. They're not going to go for high ground. We know this team has got eyes on the low ground, and they got eyes on the prize right now. They are in a beautiful position to win this.
All right, I wonder what kind of plans they're making with this one, because this is virtually a free ride to endgame for a team like Commandment, Sense, and Edgy. I don't remember them pulling a zone so far inside this FNCS. For the most part, it's always them moving, rotating. The one time they had high ground, they had to cut all the way across the field. But for Day, Mirror, Reverse UK, for Scented, Commandment, and Edgy, they all now have the zone. So it seems like they'll be able to sit pretty here for quite some time. Now, though, Day sitting on a bunch of this extra loot here. They can definitely do something big with this, which means they can take this box in any which direction that they want to. They should be a-okay as well to do exactly what they want to do best. Find Elims in this end game, rack up these points. They already got 4 this game. This is the best game so far of the day. This is the best position we have seen this trio in coming into today. Yesterday, they were on such a record-breaking pace. Today, they are now playing catch-up. It's almost like they used too many of their cards yesterday, and now they're just trying to catch back up.
Mega, Rokane, and Dubs are still in this in 6th, because we have 7th and 8th down as well. This is the complete opposite of last game. Last game, we saw all the big players make it to the end game, except for Saf, Stretch, and Avery. Now, almost none of them are here. Only 3 teams inside the top 8 right now are here, and we've been seeing Miro pull up a lot of solo clutches today. This is Day's moment. This is the player you want to watch coming to this end game. Everything is going to pivot on Day. As Dubs has gone down, it is now up to Mega and Rokane. You guys at home know, if you watch any competitive Fortnite, if you watch any Fortnite at all, you know how lethal Day can be. And honestly, so far today in these end games, he's been a bit quiet. It's been down to Storm Surge. He has had his back up against the wall, but right now he has the advantage. They get zone. He has his foot forward, and he needs to make something big happen. I'm looking at Day to pick up this team and try to carry them and push them forward, because it takes those kind of superstars to make these big games. Day's been here before. They've won an FNCS for such a young player who's just rose astronomically. The pressure's on, and they need to make it happen, as Center's going to lead the rotate with those peppers like I talked about earlier.
Yeah, here it is. It's time to go in and hit the peppers, get the rotate. They're gone, and they're doing a good job making it all the way through. Not a single team looks back to fire at them either, so it's going to be a successful rotate to the front zone. Reverse 2K Miro and Day right up above. Use all that excess loot to do just that as well, and that's the benefit of sitting on top of the refresh loot there. You have so many options to play with, but for Angie and crew, what else can they find here inside this game? The longer they stay alive, the better they are, again, distancing themselves away from that second place team of DJ and Azers and Skittles, who are no longer inside this competition. As far as teams up right now, Mega Dubs, Rokane, Daymiro, and Reverse UK are the biggest competitors for them to go ahead and gap themselves away with, and it looks like they're looking at one another right now. The shots are exchanging between the two bots, and that is our first and third place team ever so slightly getting into a bit of a skirmish on both sides of the wall there.
And they're right next to each other. We talk about Edgy, Commandment, and Centered being the kings of low ground. They got feet on the ground right now, but I think Zone might go back up and over here. They need to get up. The spray's coming out. This is very scary for them. Daymiro and Reverse are looking a bit better here. And if you look at Edgy's loadout compared to Centered, they have put all the firepower on Centered. If Centered gets caught out, they are going to lose so much coming into this end game. Daymiro and Reverse have evenly spread it out a little bit. They have kind of spread the loot and the pressure out. Centered is putting a lot of the pressure on himself right now. He has the big pump. He has the big infantry rifle, and right now he's sitting at the back looking to use them. Bucky takes down Coop. Macwood finishes off Coop. Miro gets flaked, so they're getting elimination on the board. There it is, 6 eliminations right now. They have 4 on top of Centered, Commandment, and Edgy. They are getting the points back, but Centered's looking for it. They need to try to get to a spot in this zone where they can get down the bottom. If this zone goes down and then 8th zone goes across the mountain, that is Centered and Edgy's win condition. They need the zone to pull across as Day gets another knock and an elimination. Day is stepping up like I asked him to, and they are pushing through this mid ground. They have the mats, but both of these teams, I would say Monster, are in almost identical situations.
Yeah, they all are. They all are just looking so good right now as far as the loot, the overall situation goes inside the game. But Cease is going to go ahead and fall there to the hands of Rokane and company. Rokane's going to find Knifer, and then the follow-up too. So that's a quick team right for him. And now, again, it puts him in position now to go ahead and carry his team just a little bit more, closer to that top 5 situation right now. And he is still in this game here. That's a big pump. 94. Can he get the body tag? No, he doesn't find it. But again, it is all about stealing away these placement points here. As Centered, Commandment, and Edgy just barely squeak their way out of that low ground. It's up the mountain. It's so tough to make these rotates, but they do manage to pull it off. And it's another end game finish for them. Miro's going to actually find Rokane there on the backside of the zone before he falls
Miro
to the hands of Centered. So big of a shot right there. Pivotal moment here for Centered. They are just trying to stamp their way to first place here, Ozzy.
This is everything right now. Center, the pressure's on. We've seen Edgy pull off the last place shot. We've seen Commandment do it time and time again. Centered, do you have it? Nerves of steel, the big pump in the back pocket, the infantry rifle. I have been hyping up your aim for days now. Can he pull it off? And no, he's going to go around the outside. He pushes away. He denies the elimination. And Macwood, Kanata, and Bucky walk away with a 15 elimination victory out. I've got to apologize to you guys. We have been focusing big at the top of the leaderboard. That is a team in 11th. And that is a huge surge up. Bucky's team has been very vocal on social media about having the comeback of Fortnite's history in day 2. So far, they've been a bit quiet, but I think that might be our biggest elimination win so far, Monster. That's a huge game, but is it too little too late?
Yeah, credit to the Victory Royale there. Credit to their performance so far today. Again, just that's over 100 points they put on the board today alone, making it at least a comeback story for them. Remember, what's on the line for some teams is still fighting for that top 3. And with how teams are falling up at the top there, Ozzy, anything can still happen. It is anyone's game. But for Centered, Edge, and Commandment, though, right now, they're looking so good. We're going to toss it over to the Desto. Zeke, Adam, Savage, Vivid, tell me what you got, guys.
Monster just wanted to say your full name. Man, caught you, Monster. Okay, you're exposed. All right, crazy game. You know what I love about this as well? In the back, we're kind of watching this game unfold. And Vivid, you're like, wait, high ground, look. And I'm like, what? I don't see it. What are you talking about? You're like, look, Bucky, Macwood, Kanata, they're up there. They're gonna do it. I'm like, Vivid, you're not an ex-professional player that's been on the stage of Fortnite World Cup. You're crazy. You don't know what the heck you're talking about, boy. Boom! It happens in a 15 elimination victory royale. See, my mind's getting ahead of me now. Absolutely insane. Well fought for the trio. How you feeling about that, Vivid?
Feeling good because, you know, we keep talking about how last FNCS, that specific trio had an amazing day 2 after a not so good day 1. And if they keep up what they just did, if they get another high elimination victory out like they just did, they could very well do a duplicate and just have like a quick rise up the leaderboard just from a superb day 2 performance.
Yeah, you know, Ozzy hit the nail on the head there. You know, we focus so much on the top kind of few teams that we kind of sometimes don't look at the back of the pack, 11th through 20th, for instance, and they have been there or thereabouts. Macwood's trio in 11th for ages. Suddenly, 15 eliminations and a VR gives you an extra 60 points on the board. That's going to really shoot them up into contention now. So I can't wait to see how this one unfolds. But, you know, our two teams as well, Vivid, you know, our Miro's trio centered as well. I mean, they got a lot of points on the board, but the top is going to look mighty, mighty interesting. I can't wait to see what happens.
You know, we're going to get to those standings, but first, class, it's time to take a seat because we're going to the Vivid School of Learning. Teach, over to you.
Teach, yes, grab your notebooks because we're going to be looking at that victory out from Aspect of them. But I wanted to highlight how we always talk about, you know, the front of the zone. Look how they are in front of the zone. They are